get ready because we're going to learn English and be what you want to be. Soar high and see. This will be fun and exciting for you and me. Na 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 na. English is fun to learn. This I know, my friend, because every day, every single way, every day with you.
Hi kids! Welcome to another fun-filled episode as we learn English in the most exciting way. It's me again, Teacher Herlyn, your English teacher for grade 3. So bring out your pencil, paper or notebook with you. Are you ready? Oops! What's that sound? It must be a cat. Great! Our initial activity today must have something to do with cats. So let's find out. Today, you are expected to write a short paragraph providing another ending for a story that you have listened to. As an initial activity, I will read to you the story of Herlyn and his pet. Herlyn's pet. Herlyn has a pet. His pet is Mill. Mill is a cat. Herlyn loves to play with Mill. Mill saw a rat. He wants to chase the rat. The rat is under the pile of blocks. Mill runs into the blocks. Do you like the story? Great! So what do you think Mill will do with the rat at the end of the story? Correct! With Mill running into the blocks, it can be predicted that Mill may catch the rat, or Mill might not be able to catch the rat as it has hidden inside the blocks. This time, let us try this activity. We will try to come up with interesting endings for each of the story topics. But before that, let's try to make use of something that would help us with the predictions. Number 1. For the first story topic, Merlo invited his friends to a party in his house. What could be the possible ending? You have 5 seconds to think of an answer. Have you thought of an answer? Let us try to ask the magic crystal ball for an answer. Here's a possible answer. His friends were very happy and excited to see him, and they enjoyed the party. Of course, when you invite your friends to a party, they'd be happy and excited to see you. How about story topic number 2? Tomas and his friends go to Mount Hamigitan for an adventure. How do you think Tomas and his friends would feel after their mountain climbing adventure? They would be tired when they get home, but they would be happy because they had fun going on an adventure together. Finally, we have story topic number 3. Mila is watching a horror movie in her house. What could happen after Mila is done watching the horror movie? Please show us, Magic Crystal Ball, what could happen to Mila. She would be so scared that she will sleep with all the lights on. Wow! You are indeed good in coming up with possible endings for a story. Thank you so much, Magic Crystal Ball, for joining us in this awesome activity. Stories always have endings. The word "and" refers to what happens to the characters in the last part of the story, and it can be a happy, memorable, sad, or funny ending. For example, in the story topic about Merlo, who invited his friends to a party in his house, we can say that Merlo had a memorable party at the end of the story. So what are the steps in writing a good ending for a story topic? Here they are. Number 1. Listen carefully to a story. When you are finished, study the last lines of the story. Number 2. Make an outline by gathering all the ideas that you got from the story. Number 3. Write a paragraph by using the outline that would catch the interest of the readers. Number 4. Use words that can make your ending more interesting. And number 5. End the story with a lesson or hope. In step number 3, we see that our ending needs to be written as a paragraph. Let's now find out what we need to know to write a good paragraph. In writing a paragraph, it is important to take note of the following. Indent. It means leaving a space in the first line of your paragraph. Use capital letters at the beginning of every sentence. Note, we use capital letters for proper nouns. Use a period or other punctuation marks at the end of every sentence. Oh, hi there, Mr. Pen! So what does this mean when Mr. Pen shows up? Correct! It's writing time. So get your pen and paper for another writing activity. For your writing activity, let us look at the picture and read the story. Lovely was crying because her mother will go to the mall. She wanted to go with her mother. Her mother explained to her that children of her age are not allowed to go outside the house. So, Lovely asked her mother to buy her a doll. Lovely was very excited about her new doll. She kept looking out the window and she couldn't wait for her mother to arrive. Now it's your turn. Write a short paragraph that will serve as an ending for Lovely's story. Follow the steps in writing a paragraph. So now that you have listened to the story, let us discuss and study the last lines. Can you recall the last part of the story? Great! There's Lovely looking at the window and she couldn't wait for her mother to arrive. Step number 1. Listen carefully to the story. When you are finished, review the last lines of the story. Step number 2. Make an outline by gathering all the ideas that you got from the story. Here is step number 3. Write a paragraph by using the outline that would catch the interest of the readers. From the outline in step number 2, we can come up with our prediction. So what do you think is going to happen? Remember, it should catch the interest of the readers. Now let's take a look at steps number 4 and 5. Use words that can make your ending more interesting. And end the story with a lesson or hope. Again, we can recall that the last event in the story was Lovely waiting for her mother to come home with her doll. So let's make an ending for Lovely's story. Let's make use of our magic crystal ball for this. Here, we got our magic crystal ball. It's going to show us the possible outcomes of the story.
Magic crystal ball, show us how lovely story will end. Our magic crystal ball will show us two possible outcomes of the story, and we will determine which one gives us a lesson or hope.
Now, for our magic crystal ball to work, we have to say some magic words. Let's say, magic crystal ball, show us. Say it with me. Magic crystal ball, show us. Did you see that? You see that Lovely was able to get her requested doll. Now how about the other possible ending? Let's say the magic words again. Magic crystal ball, show us. One more time. Magic crystal ball, show us. So how was the second prediction? We see that Lovely was sad that her mother did not buy her a doll. Great! We will go with the first prediction. So let us create a paragraph from it. But before that, let's ask our magic crystal ball to help us. Let's say our magic words. Magic crystal ball, show us.
What do you see? Lovely's mother is finally home with some paper bags. Lovely goes to her mother and helps her carry the paper bags. When they get inside the house, Lovely is happy to see that a doll is inside one of the paper bags. She is happy and thanks her mother for buying the doll. Now we have these 4 sentences and we will make them into a paragraph. Can you try it in your end? Great! Let's join all these sentences together to form a paragraph. Remember, we indent the first sentence when we are writing a paragraph. We begin each sentence with a capital letter, and we end the sentences with a period. So we write, Lovely's mother is finally home with some paper bags. Lovely goes to her mother and helps her carry the paper bags. When they get inside the house, Lovely is happy to see that a doll is inside one of the paper bags. She is happy and thanks her mother for buying the doll. Now let's take a look at our paragraph to see if it followed the writing tips we discussed. Tip number 1, indent. Leave a space in the first line of your paragraph. Is the first line of your paragraph indented? Great! The first line of the paragraph is indented. Tip number 2. Use capital letters at the beginning of every sentence. Are we using capital letters? Great! Tip number 3. Use periods or punctuation marks at the end of the sentence. Do you see periods? Great job!
Now here's another activity for you to do. We will write an ending to the story of Marco and Levi. Listen as I read the story. Marco and Levi went to the park. While they were walking around, they heard a girl shouting a few meters away. It sounded like something happened to the girl. She needed their help. The boys began to run fast. When they saw the girl, they were surprised by what happened. What could have happened to the girl? Now let's take a look at the paragraph and identify the details provided. Now let's take note of the following phrases.
A girl shouting. Something happened to the girl. Needed their help. Surprised by what happened.
Now from these details, what ending can be made?
When they saw the girl, they were surprised by what happened.
So let us create a paragraph from it. But before that, let's ask our magic crystal ball to help us. Let's say our magic words. Magic crystal ball, show us.
What do you see? Let us make an outline of the events. The girl was crying when Marco and Levi arrived. She was in pain because she fell from the slide where she was playing. She had bruises on her arm. Marco and Levi helped her to get up, and they brought the girl to the nearest health center. The girl thanked the two boys for helping her.
Now that we have all this information, let us create a paragraph.
We will begin by leaving a space for the first line of the paragraph or indent. The girl was crying when Marco and Levi arrived. She was in pain because she fell from the slide where she was playing. She had bruises on her arm. Marco and Levi helped her to get up, and they brought the girl to the nearest health center. The girl thanked the two boys for helping her. Amazing! Now let's review if we used capital letters at the beginning of every sentence, and if we used periods at the end of every sentence. Great job!
Another writing activity for you to do. I will read to you the story of three chicks, Lita, Lily, and Luna, who went out to look for food one day. Listen carefully as I read the story to you.
Lita, Lily, and Luna were going to look for food in the yard. Lita was the eldest among the sisters. She was very talkative, lazy, and wanted to play all day. While they were roaming around, Lily and Luna found some worms. Lita didn't notice because she was playing. Suddenly, Bagito, a raven, passed by their way. Lily and Luna ran as fast as they could. Lily and Luna were so scared. When they got home, their eldest sister wasn't there.
From the story, what possible ending can we draw?
Now let us look back on the story. It can be recalled that the three sisters were looking for food and a raven passed their way. Luna and Lily were able to run, but Lita wasn't there when they got home. Now what could have happened to Lita? How would you want this story to end? This time, we will come up with another paragraph as an ending to the story. Now let us ask our magic crystal ball to show us what possible endings we can come up with. Let's say our magic words. Magic crystal ball, show us. Say it with me. Magic crystal ball, show us. Great! Take note of the events as the magic crystal ball will show two possible endings. Let's take a look at number 1. What do you see? You see Lita being carried away by the raven. Lita was crying and begging the raven to not eat her. But the raven was so hungry that he ate Lita. How about taking a look at the second prediction? You see Lita coming home to her sisters. The two sisters were happy to see Lita. Lita explained to them
that while she was playing and the raven passed by, she hid under the santan bush. The three sisters were happy to see each other again and promised to keep an eye on each other. Now, which ending do you like better? Is it the first one or the second one? Great! So we will choose the second ending. Look at how it is written in paragraph form. It is indented. The beginning letters of every sentence are in capital letters, and there is a period after every sentence.
To wrap up today's episode, let us answer the following questions. Number 1. What are the steps in writing an ending of a story? Number 2. What should be considered in writing a paragraph?
Again, in writing an ending of a story, number 1, listen carefully to a story. When you are finished, study the last lines of the story. Number 2, make an outline by gathering all the ideas that you got from the story. Number 3, write a paragraph by using the outline that would catch the interest of the readers. Number 4, use words that can make your ending more interesting. And number 5, end the story with a lesson or hope. In writing a paragraph, it is also important to take note of the following. Indent. Leave a space at the first line of your paragraph. Use capital letters at the beginning of every sentence. Note, we use capital letters for proper nouns. Use a period or other punctuation marks at the end of every sentence.
There you have it, kids. You have learned the steps in writing an ending for a story and a lot of useful tips in writing a paragraph. But we're not done yet. We will be discussing more things on this topic in our next episode. It is indeed fun to learn English with you. See you next time for another fun-filled learning activity. Once again, this is Teacher Herlyn, your guide to learning English in the most exciting way. Daghang salamat!